Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at a figure that fell over about 50 times before I gave up and decided to put it like that on the stand. The Marvel Legends Marvel Girl, part of the Tri-Sentinel wave of Marvel Legends. This is the House of X version, and I thought it was going to be an action figure when I ordered the wave. Turns out it's not. Turns out it's a posable statue. Kind of a bummer. There's not a whole lot to talk about here, but we're going to talk about it anyway, so let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This figure has the potential to stand roughly 6 inches tall, which makes it just about 15.5 centimeters. And the reason she's so difficult to stand is that she's using these high heel type shoes, which aren't even that high, but she's very gummy. She's very wobbly, and yes, you could balance her, but doing it on a moving platform, not the easiest thing, and it's just simply not worth my time. As far as the figure's aesthetics go, there's some stuff to talk about, but first let's go ahead and just do a question of the day. Are you okay with an action figure that's very minimally posable, or do you want your figures to be posable, considering that they are for the action variety? Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the aesthetics. Some new parts here, some old parts. The sculpt on the chest is pretty good, like the whole upper torso. You can see some nice clothing wrinkles down there around her belt area and then across her chesticles. That's all pretty well sculpted, that's good. No issues there, it's got a very nice or organic look to it. That's good. The hair is sculpted pretty well on the head. The face is sculpted okay. Eyebrows are really high off the eyes. Really high off the eyes, but I imagine most people won't notice that too much, won't care. They didn't sculpt a butt for her. She has no butt. So odd proportioning there. That's about it. Paint wise, there's almost none. The X is pretty sloppy. It's okay, like it could be way worse, but the X is sloppy. Her boots are painted on down here because these shoes are like not the right kind of shoes for her, so they just painted the whole thing yellow. Well, these are molded, then they painted it onto the legs. The hair has some shading. That's about it for the aesthetics. So, the legs are painted skin tone up here. It's actually molded. Oh yeah. The legs are actually molded in yellow. The feet are molded in yellow, which is weird because it's not the right feet anyway. And I'm pretty sure, I swear they had boots on a leg like this at some point. But anyway, the legs are painted flesh tone, which doesn't quite match, and there's yellow poking through. Looks cheap. This whole figure looks really cheap except for like from the waist up. Then it looks average at best. And the sculpt for the chest again is nice. I only bring that up because they've had really weird sculpts for the female figures for a while now. But this one, usually they have a big butt and no boobs and skinny legs. This one has no butt, no legs, and relatively medium boobs. It's just like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know, it's very strange. The whole female figure thing, like they don't sell well in the first place is my understanding, the female figures. So, I don't know, have they given up? Do they not care? I don't know what's going on. Do you guys collect female figures? There's another question of the day. If I haven't done one, have I done one? I don't know if I've done one. I think I did. Do you guys collect figures of females more or less than other characters? The only way I would see these as selling less is that moms might buy a Marvel Legends figure for their kid, and it's probably going to be of one of the anchor characters rather than one of these. That's the only reason I would think females would sell less, but I'm curious what you guys think about that. Okay, so aesthetically speaking, 6 out of 10. It's okay, but it's also not in a lot of ways. Alright, let's talk about the accessories. We have the 2 fist hands that come on her in the package, then we have 2 style pose hands, which are fitting for her, so that's good. And then we also get this weird flower pot thingy, which I'm pretty sure is supposed to be like for Professor Xavier, or maybe he gives it to her, I don't know. I saw a panel where he was holding this, but it came with her, so I don't know what's going on with that. And that's it, so 6 out of 10, I guess. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about the articulation. The head is on your average Marvel Legends hinge with a ball peg. A lot of hair on the back, so you can't really bring it back at all. Going forward, you can a little bit. You can rotate it, but the hair is pretty stiff, so it ends up looking pretty weird, but it's there. You can give her just a little bit of attitude. Pretty minimal, not great there. Shoulders do go just better than horizontal, so that is okay. You can get full rotation. That's fine. No bicep swivel still. Single jointed elbow, not quite 90. And you get your rotation there. Wrists have a swivel and a hinge. No upper torso articulation at all. We do get lower torso articulation, which just creates a gap. It's very weird that they did it this way, because normally if you're going to have that kind of articulation, you would do something to make sure it doesn't have a gap. like that. Like you would finish the sculpt round, like with the radius of the joint, and then hollow it out so that you can still pose it and it fills in the gap, but they didn't do that. So you just get that like weird early 90s type of articulation. So for the hips, it's like your standard Marvel Legends hips, except they're useless other than the thigh swivel. The skirt has a cut in it, but it's very thick and very rigid, so you're not moving the legs at all. Double jointed knees work like double jointed knees. Ankles are gummy and loose. They have good range though, and a crooked ankle rocker. Articulation on this figure gets a 4 out of 10. Nope, a 3 out of 10. Because the hips are worthless, which means you can only pose her upper body, and even then we have very minimal upper body posability due to the torso and due to the elbows and bicep swivel, and even the hair being very thick. There's just a whole lot wrong with this figure. It's going to stand on your shelf and not be posed very much at all, and therefore it's not really an action figure. So my final verdict on this release is it's going to look okay. Like up against most Marvel Legends, it doesn't look too bad, but it's only going to stand there like this, and that's not really acceptable. So I'm going to give this a final verdict of 4 out of 10 due to the extremely limited posability and cheapness of having the legs be molded in yellow, the wrong kind of shoes, and painting the legs and looking weird, and it's a very poor release. Hopefully that's enough information for you guys to make your decision. If not, well, I guess I failed you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, and if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that, and in the meantime, keep collecting.